Hello and welcome back to another video. Now today I've got this Dell Inspiron. Now I bought this off Facebook Marketplace for a tenner. Now it might be a Haswell system and that sort of era, but still a tenner's a brilliant deal for one of these until you realise it's missing a power supply. And I don't know what else it's missing, he just said it were a broken machine. So we're going to try and fix it up and turn it into a little gaming rig. I've got everything I need really. So let's have a look inside this old beast. Now from my experience with the OptiPlexes, these Inspirons are actually just the OptiPlex dressed up a bit. So the same chassis with a different fascia on it. Pop these two. Cheapened up in some ways as well, because they're not designed to be serviceable, they're just designed to sit there and rot. See, look, if it were an OptiPlex it'd have a PCI port there, but it don't. Saying that, it looks like we've got a half decent system to work with. Just missing a power supply. Now it says it's got an i5 in it, so I hope so. And I think I've checked the RAM. It should be 8 gigs, but we're changing that out anyway. 2 RAM slots, so not best. But yeah, let me go have a clean of it. Let's see what we can do with this machine. I'm really glad I decided to take the CPU cooler off now, because you can see there, that isn't an i5, that's an i3 4130. Well, I've got an i7 to put in it, so no worries, but still, it's not the best. It's not the best at all. So I've done the two biggest no-nos in PC building. I've ordered a graphics card from AliExpress and a power supply from AliExpress. Now, graphics cards are usually a scam, power supplies normally blow up. That's what I've heard, but I want to try for myself. I've heard good things about the RX 580, that they actually are selling RX 580s, like remanufactured. So let's hope with this that that's real. This is a crap build. I don't care. Finding a used power supply with same, well more than this, was new, so if it lasts me a few weeks, I don't mind. Let's hope at least. I ain't that arsed about it though. So the graphics card, this is the first time I'm opening it. The big reveal. If it wants to come out, that is. This is the first new graphics card I've had for ages. Okay, so far so good. There we are. You know what? First impressions, it doesn't look that bad. It does look like a RX 580 should. I'm actually pleasantly happy with that. Looks like it'll suit his machine very well. Power supply's a power supply, I ain't bothering on unboxing that for you. It's a power supply at the end of the day. Wires come out of it. So you've seen the i3. This is what we have to replace it. An i7 4770. Almost the best CPU on this socket. There is a higher 4790, but for this, it'll be brilliant. It's still, to this day, a modern, brilliant little machine. Little chip at least. So let's get this installed. Just take out the old one. Pop this out, it's pretty simple. Lift that up. Bang that up, grab it like that, and there we are, got rid of that. Check the pins, they look brilliant. There you are, simple as that. Now, I've got these 2 RAM sticks ordered, wrapped in fucking chocolate boxes, but this should give us 16 gigs of RAM. Pop these 2 latches open. There we've got the old 8. Lovely jubbly. These are the 2 DDR3 sticks we've got, what are cheap and nasty, but they'll work. 8 gigabytes each, apparently. So if we line these up, squeeze them down nicely. There we are. Should have 16 gigs of RAM in it now. From experience, never trust the old CMOS battery. Just replace it. There's no point. There's no point trying to revive keep it running. If it's an old machine, especially like this, just replace the CMOS battery. It'll save you a lot of hassle. You can get a big 5-pack on eBay for about £1.50, so there's no point not doing it, to be fair. There we are, lovely jubbly. So, no matter how bashed up the box is, hopefully the power supply itself will be okay. This is meant to be European spec, but I've no idea. Let's hope. Ooh dear, I don't think I've ever had a power supply what is this lightweight. Genuinely, really lightweight. With some ketchup and mustard cables. Oh, it should work though. It also came with a European kettle lead. I'm British, so it's pointless to me. Right, so let's get this power supply in, if we can avoid that. I've stolen 2 screws from the motherboard because it's fully screwed in as a motherboard because it's OEM. I don't think it's ever been pulled out, and use them to screw this in. So I've got a power supply now, even if it is a bit crap. I've got the cables plugged in now, and the SSD. So I'm going to thermal paste the CPU. Riskiest thing you can do on YouTube is showing thermal pasting. I live life in the fast lane. There we are, CPU colours lined up. Screw this in. Screw in 2 opposite sides, and then you can do it rest. There we are, nicely securely on. And then before we forget, plug in this CPU fan cable in. Look at that. So this beautiful graphics card can go in here now. We pop this open. That's nicely ready. So one-handed, it fits. There we are. Nicely slotted in. Make sure it's secure. Because we lose access to SATA ports here. Yeah, that's nicely in. Dell's tools design, just whack that in. There you are, look at that. It's starting to look like a real PC now. get the PCIe power. Only needs a 6 pin. We've got 2 8 pins. Not that I'd want a graphics card with 2 8 pins in here. Stuff that away. Starting to look like a real gaming PC. Just needs a bit of cleaning up to do. So the cable management might not be the best, but we have a nice little PC here. 1TB drive, 128 gig SSD, i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and RX 580. Can't complain. Let's see if it'll post. So on first boot, orange light flashing. Power supply problem that. All fans are spinning, but there's no life out of it. Looks like we've got a dead power supply, or something up with power supply. Either way, this computer don't like the power supply. I'm gonna see if I've got a spare one. I don't think I do, but let's go have a look. Snus. Stick it in the machine. There you are, under your gum java. There you are. Get that nice Nicky Rush feeling going through your body. So I've just installed the second power supply I bought. All well so far. But it doesn't have a graphics card power cable. So I'm going to have to send this back and buy a used one. I've given up on the cheap power supplies, I think. Many months later, I've got myself a power supply that works. And I mean months. It's been sat in my to-do pile for a long while. Switched on. See if it works. Well, that's a good sign. Let's get Windows installed and I'll see what's up. Heaven Benchmark Extreme running at 200 FPS. Can't really complain there. Following on from this, I've actually sold the machine to my brother-in-law to be his first gaming PC. He's always been a console player and he's always wanted a gaming PC. And so far, it's been a few weeks now. This video has been a good 6 months in the making. Just because there's so many other projects I've got on, non-YouTube related, what have distracted me from it. But he's had it a good few weeks now, and he is really happy with the quality he can play his games in. I mean, he's got an Xbox Series X, and it's like never going to match that. But then again, like I told him, for what he paid for it, you know, it's £100 gaming PC. It's not going to be the same as a £2 computer, but he plays every single thing he wants to play at medium settings, most at high settings, because like his main focus was 5M, the GTA 5 mod, and that works brilliantly. And BeamNG.drive, high settings, not highest, but high settings, plays it fine, 60 FPS solid. So really, this is a really good entry, even today, into the PC gaming world. And I know that these machines, at one point, were the definite way to get into PC gaming on a budget. Well, the OptiPlex versions, but this is a dressed up OptiPlex, like I said earlier on in the video. But to this day, with a bit of extra money spent in upgrading them, they still pack a punch. Now, I would like to look into the later versions of the OptiPlexes and Inspirons, since I assume they're still the same, just with a different fascia panel on them. Because I haven't seen anyone do this sort of upgrade with the Skylake or even later versions of the OptiPlex line. I know they do Ryzen OptiPlexes now, and I do have a few OptiPlexes myself in service as servers. I think there's a brief glimpse of my OptiPlex server in this video. It lives underneath my TV and does Plex and general stuff. and they're amazing for what they are, for the money they are. They are a really good way to get a PC what works. So I want to look into if there's a future to the old ruse of putting a graphics card in an OptiPlex and calling it a gaming PC, because that were always a brilliant method of getting into PC gaming, and yet that option seems to be dying with the age of the OptiPlexes. Desktop PCs aren't as common anymore, but they still make loads of them, and OptiPlexes are still cheap, so I'm going to have a look into that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.